What's up everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I will be talking about how I passed my CompTIA Network Plus and the resources I use along with the mental challenges I dealt with, all in the hopes that can maybe help you pass your test and help you avoid burnout. So let's start with the resources I used and what the difference is with each option, because each one has a different way of teaching. The first resource I started with was Mike Myers. Now Mike Myers is the author of the CompTIA books, but also has videos you can watch on Udemy. His style of teaching is definitely one of the better methods in my opinion that worked for me personally. He does not use any slides from what I can remember, which was good for me because slides can be extremely boring to watch after a while. He uses more of a physical examples approach. He will use whiteboards and physical diagrams using sticks and blocks to help you understand IP packets for instances. And this is what I found was great for me. Saved me time from having to visualize a lot. Now this is a paid course on Udemy, but usually you can find it for pretty cheap. Now for most people this would be enough, but I still did not get a lot of the concepts in the Network Plus. I really struggled with subnetting and just the overall volume of information. Everything was pretty easy to understand, it's just a lot to remember. So I looked for other resources to help me stay focused because I couldn't imagine rewatching the same video over and over again. I just needed something new just to not get bored, because a lot of the concepts are a little boring. And that's when I found IT.Pro TV and CBT Nuggets, another one I really enjoy. Now IT.Pro TV had instructional videos with some examples very similar to Mike Myers, so it is another great resource. CBT Nuggets was an extremely different approach to learning, and I spent a lot of time here because it was all voiced over with drawings and animations to explain every little thing about the Network Plus. So if you're really visual with drawings and I'm sure you've seen the little sketch arts that people make, that's basically all it is, and it's a great way to learn for me personally. The OSI model here is explained very well, so if you get tired of seeing people just talk, then maybe this is for you, and I highly recommend it. So by now I feel like I'm ready to take my exam, and so that's what I did, because after so much studying, after what was like 3 months of studying, I was just fed up. I was doing 5-hour days, sometimes 8-hour days, just trying to redo and just try to get these concepts over and over again, have it all just cram in my head, learn it, but also try to get it kind of over with, which is not recommended because you actually got to learn the material, not just pass the exams. And sadly I failed. Now you may be thinking I didn't study well enough, and I actually feel like I might have overstudied because I also just rushed the test. And I say overstudied because I was at a point where I had burnt out, and anything that just had to do with Network Plus just made me almost physically sick. I had overdone it mentally. So okay, no problem. So I decided to go back to studying, except this time I found Professor Messer, which later on becomes my main resource for doing the main CompTIAs. And his stuff is great and it's free, which is great for me because after 3 months of using paid subscriptions like CBT Nuggets, ITPro.tv, and Udemy, I did not want to spend any more money. Also, I spent on the CompTIA Network Plus out of pocket as well, and to fail it once, it definitely hurts the pockets. So after going through Messer's stuff, I actually didn't try taking my Net Plus again because I just didn't feel ready. I felt a bit of imposter syndrome, a lot of it actually, really intensely. So I honestly disappeared from CompTIA, the Network Plus, for at least 6 months. Sadly, I just was burnt out. I just couldn't do it. But I had to continue studying. I knew I had to continue studying anything cybersecurity related, at least, just so I would feel better about myself, like I wasn't giving up on this career I had chosen, which later on would be a great choice I made for when I wanted to get my other certs from CompTIA. So anyways, that's a different video. So I fast forward and took the Net Plus for the second time about 6-8 months later, and well, I failed again. I didn't really study for it. I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it again. I reviewed my notes very quickly, and I just signed up for the second attempt because I had bought the 2 attempts for 1 voucher. But I barely failed, and I knew I was almost there. I just couldn't give up. So I studied even harder using Professor Messer's work for 1 more month, and finally on my 3rd attempt, I passed. And I am happy to have accomplished something that I had decided to pursue. I came into this tech world barely knowing anything. How to use the settings on the PC was really just about as far as my knowledge went on computer work, and now I know more than I would ever have thought I would. So this video, aside from telling you where to find good resources, is also to show you to never give up and just give yourself breaks. Do not be like me and get so tunnel visioned and overly obsessed with trying to get something done that you burn out. You get agitated or impatient. It's just not worth it. Take a break, take a walk, do something else, study something else. It's always gonna be there. It's not a race. Just slow your roll, enjoy the field, and do what you love. No one's gonna judge you for being a little slower than the next guy, because you'll see people that will say, I passed it in a week, I passed it in a month, I passed it on my first try, and then you feel once or twice, and at least that's how I felt. I felt kind of down, like, is this really for me? And if you're wondering how the 6 months hiatus I took after my first failed attempt helped me achieve my other 2 certs 1 month apart, then make sure to watch my other video on how I passed my Pen Test Plus. I'll make sure to put it up somewhere on the screen so you guys can go get an idea of how that went for me. So that's about it for now. That's about the only resources I can tell you is itpro.tv, Mike Myers, CBT Nuggets, Udemy, Jason Dion's another great one. Take breaks just to review everything I've talked about, and that's about it. That's really how I passed my Network Plus. Just a lot of perseverance, dedication, headaches, constant studying, constant tests, constant quizzes, constant failures, but just never giving up was really the main thing. Don't let the imposter syndrome, the burnout, or anything make you feel, or anybody make you feel like you can't do it. Thanks for watching, and make sure to follow my other socials in the description. Remember to like and subscribe. Peace.